Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're embarking on a really fascinating journey, actually. We're cracking open a book that hasn't just influenced, but profoundly shaped Chinese civilization and really much of East Asian thought for over 2,000 years.
That's right.
The Analects of Confucius. Now, I know for some, that title might bring up images of, dense philosophy texts.
Academic stuff.
Exactly. But trust me, what we're about to discover is, far more practical, more immediate, and surprisingly accessible, I think.
Definitely.
It's a really treasure trove of wisdom for navigating life, leadership, relationships, all distilled into these really engaging conversations. Our mission today is to dig out those timeless insights and see how they can light up our modern world for you.
And that's exactly what makes this deep dive so compelling, I think. We're not just looking at some dusty historical documents here.
Right.
We're exploring these selected sayings that aren't just relics. They offer, honestly, profoundly relevant and powerful guidance for the complex, fast-paced lives we lead today. Our goal is really to cut through any of that sort of perceived academic weightiness and deliver practical, actionable takeaways, stuff you can not just understand, but maybe even apply.
Okay, let's unpack this then.
Yeah.
Most of us know the Analects as, the foundational text of Confucius.
Sure.
But it's quite fascinating, isn't it, that it wasn't actually a book he sat down and wrote himself. So for anyone who might not know the full story, how did this incredible collection come together? What even is the Analects, literally?
Yeah, that's a really crucial point. The word Analects itself basically means selected sayings, or maybe more precisely, a collection of sort of fragmented literary pieces.
Okay.
Confucius himself, who lived way back in the 6th and 5th centuries BCE, he died in 479 BCE. He wasn't writing some grand systematic philosophy, not at all.
Right.
He was teaching, interacting, engaging with the world around him. And this amazing book, it was actually compiled by his students, his disciples, after he died. They meticulously gathered his dialogues, his aphorisms, his interactions. It's almost like a carefully curated diary of his wisdom, making sure his teachings would actually last.
So it's not one long book, but bits and pieces of conversations.
Yeah.
Like overhearing him talk.
Exactly like that.
Yeah.
It's not a dry, continuous narrative. Instead, think of it like a vibrant tapestry woven from Confucius's chats with his students, with various rulers he advised, even with ordinary people he met along the way.
Huh. What kinds of things did they talk about? Was it all just big philosophical ideas?
Oh, it's incredibly broad. Everything from the, nitty-gritty details of good government and ethical leadership, right down to personal morality, the importance of education, and even just simple everyday etiquette, how to behave.
Wow.
It's filled with these short, memorable passages, like little potent nuggets of wisdom that give you immediate food for thought. It really suggests that for Confucius, wisdom wasn't just for scholars and ivory towers. It was embedded in, every part of being human.
That really changes how you approach it, doesn't it? Makes it feel less like a textbook and more like eavesdropping on something profound.
Exactly.
Which brings us, I think, right to the heart of our deep dive, the core pillars of his teachings. These aren't just abstract concepts. They've literally provided the scaffolding for entire societies for centuries.
That's a great way to put it.
We've kind of distilled 7 key themes from the Analects that we think offer immense guidance, even for us today. Where should we start?
Well, let's start with Ren. That's R-E-N. It's often translated as humaneness, benevolence, or compassion.
Okay, Ren, humaneness.
But what's really key here is that Ren isn't just about feeling sympathy for someone. It's about active, ethical regard for others. Confucius implies that real Ren demands active goodwill, often starting with the people closest to you.
Active goodwill. So doing something about it.
Precisely. A truly humane person doesn't just wish others well from afar. They actively work to improve their condition, even when it's tough or inconvenient. It's actually a powerful challenge, especially in our often individualistic world, to move beyond just feeling sorry for someone to actually doing something compassionate.
Okay, so it's about putting that humaneness into action. But, in a world often driven by self-interest, how does Confucius suggest we actually cultivate this Ren, this active goodwill, especially when it's not easy? Is it just about having good intentions, or?
That's a fantastic question, because Ren isn't passive at all. Confucius believed it starts with self-mastery, basically. Overcoming your own ego, your own desires, and then extending that outward.
Right, control yourself first.
Exactly. He famously said, Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. We'll come back to that. But even more, he stressed that a Ren person helps others stand firm just as they would help themselves. It's about understanding that our own well-being is fundamentally tied to the well-being of the people around us. Think about, say, a team leader today, one who doesn't just hand out tasks, but genuinely invest in the growth and success of every single team member, even if it means more work for them personally. That's Ren in action.
That makes sense. That outward focus, that consideration.
Yeah.
It leads us quite naturally to another cornerstone, doesn't it? Like proper conduct.
Yes, lai simile.
This isn't just about like fancy manners or empty rituals, is it? It feels much deeper.
Oh, much, much deeper. Yes, lai certainly includes rituals, manners, respect. But it's not about blindly following rules just because they're rules. Confucius saw lai as the pattern or the form through which Ren, that inner humaneness we just talked about, actually gets expressed.
Okay. It's how you show Ren.
Exactly. It's about how you conduct yourself in every single interaction, every gesture, every word. It's about creating a social fabric that's built on mutual respect. The really powerful insight here is that harmony in society starts with respect in those seemingly small daily actions. Well, just think about how much smoother our own interactions are when people are genuinely present, when they listen actively, speak thoughtfully, instead of just waiting for their turn to jump in. Provides that framework for respectful engagement. It's the structure for kindness.
That's a powerful point. Genuine respect, not just going through the motions. And that focus on outward respect, it leads straight to another huge concept in Confucian thought, one deeply embedded in Chinese culture, filial piety, or Xiao.
Yes, Xiao. Xio.
For those who aren't familiar, what exactly does this mean and why is it considered so foundational?
Xiao, filial piety, is that profound respect, honor, and importantly, care shown towards wise parents and elders. And it's not just about simple obedience, it's really about gratitude and reciprocal care, looking after them as they looked after you.
Reciprocal care, I like that.
And the crucial insight, the reason it's so foundational, is that this respect shown within the family, it becomes the blueprint for respect and order throughout the entire society. Well, Confucius believed that if people could learn to truly honor and care for their parents and ancestors, the people who gave them life, who nurtured them, they would naturally extend that same respect and loyalty outwards to their community, their leaders, the broader social structure. It literally starts at home. The family becomes this mini society where responsibilities are learned and practiced.
That idea.
Yeah.
That the family unit is the blueprint for everything else. That's incredibly profound. It really makes you think about how connected our private and public lives are, even now.
Absolutely.
And building on that, Confucius presents this ideal for individual development, for self-mastery. The gentleman, or Junzi, Junzi.
Yes, the Junzi.
What makes the Junzi such an important ideal, and why is it maybe not quite what people might expect from the word gentleman?
Great. The Junzi is Confucius's ideal person, the exemplary individual. It often gets translated as gentleman, but here's that sort of aha moment you mentioned.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with birthright or aristocratic family or social class.
Really? Nothing.
Zero. It's not about who your parents were or how much money you have. It is entirely about character and moral integrity. A Junzi is someone who is virtuous, humble, wise, regardless of their station in life.
So what defines them then?
They prioritize ethical choices over personal gain. They demonstrate quiet confidence rather than flashy self-promotion. And crucially, they are constantly striving for self-improvement. It's a title you earn through diligent self-cultivation, not one you inherit.
That's refreshing, especially today.
Isn't it? Think of a leader, maybe in business or community, who consistently puts the long-term well-being of their people or their mission before short-term profits or personal glory. That embodies the Junzi ideal. It's a meritocracy of character.
A meritocracy of character. I love that. And that striving, that constant effort towards building character, it leads us right into Confucius's deep emphasis on learning and self-cultivation. He wasn't just talking about hitting the books, was he? Or memorizing facts.
Oh, not at all. Confucius absolutely believed that education was the key, the absolute key to moral growth and to becoming a Junzi. But for him, learning wasn't just about piling up information. It was a process of deep reflection, self-correction, and inner transformation. He stressed studying the wisdom of the past, yes, but then critically engaging with it, thinking about it, and then this is crucial, applying it to your own life.
Applying it.
Yes, it's a lifelong journey of refining your character, understanding your place in the world, and constantly trying to improve. It's not like you reach a point and say, okay, I'm learned now.
Right. It never stops.
Never. As he famously asked, to learn and at due times to repeat what one has learned, is that not a pleasure? It highlights the actual joy of intellectual engagement and continuous growth.
So it's active learning, tied directly to becoming a better person. And these personal virtues, Ren, Li, Xiao, becoming a Junzi, they clearly weren't just for private life. Confucius had some pretty revolutionary ideas about the role of government and leadership for his time, didn't he?
Absolutely revolutionary. This is where his thinking really stands out. Remember, he lived in an era often dominated by harsh laws, power struggles, military might.
Right. Rule by force.
Exactly. And he offered this radical alternative. Rulers should govern by moral example, not by fear or coercion. He argued that a good leader doesn't need to rely on punishment to make people obey. Instead, they inspire virtue in their people.
How does that work practically?
If the ruler themselves is upright, honest, benevolent, if they act like a Junzi, then the people will naturally follow suit. It's about moral influence, leading by being the example rather than just wielding power. He had this great analogy. The people are like grass and the ruler is like the wind. When the wind blows, meaning when the ruler acts virtuously, the grass naturally bends in that direction.
Wow.
It's a timeless principle of effective leadership, really.
Yeah.
Genuine, lasting influence comes from integrity and inspiration, not just raw authority.
That's a profound challenge to how we often think about leadership, even today, isn't it? Less about policy points, more about fundamental character.
Precisely. It makes you think about the leaders who truly unite and uplift people. Often it is through their personal example.
And finally, that brings us to a concept that feels incredibly universal, something that transcends time and culture. The Golden Rule. Confucius had his own version, right?
Yes, and this is probably one of his most widely recognized contributions across the globe. He stated it as, do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself.
Simple, but powerful.
Incredibly powerful. It's essentially the negative formulation of what many cultures call the Golden Rule. It perfectly captures the essence of empathy and mutual respect. Notice it's not necessarily about actively doing good, but about consciously refraining from doing harm.
Ah, that's an interesting distinction.
It is. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and thinking before we act. It's universal applicability, cutting across different societies and times, just advocates for this baseline of consideration and basic understanding in all our interactions. Don't treat others in ways you wouldn't want to be treated. Pretty fundamental.
So we've walked through these incredible pillars. Ren, humaneness. Li, proper conduct. Xiao, filial piety. The Junzi, the ideal person, lifelong learning, ethical leadership, and the Golden Rule. That's a lot. But okay, let's bring it home. What does this all mean for you listening right now? We live in a world that often feels, well, driven by ego, conflict, division. How do these ancient ideas actually connect with the challenges we face in our jobs, our communities, our personal lives today?
Well, what's truly fascinating, I think, is just how much the Analects reminds us that these fundamental human truths haven't really changed, even across thousands of years.
Yeah.
Think about the modern workplace, for instance. The principles of Ren that active compassion could genuinely transform a cutthroat competitive environment into a more supportive team, right?
Definitely.
And Li, proper conduct, respectful communication that can foster clear interactions, prevent misunderstandings, reduce conflict, and the pursuit of the Junzi ideal. It encourages leaders to cultivate integrity, humility, inspiring trust instead of just demanding obedience.
It really does feel like Confucius offers a kind of counter-narrative to our often very individualistic, maybe achievement-obsessed culture today. How does this ancient wisdom provide a blueprint, maybe, for navigating the sheer complexity we face every day?
Precisely. In this age of, constant information overload and rapid change, Confucius's emphasis on lifelong learning and deep reflection encourages us to seek actual understanding beyond just surface-level facts, to cultivate genuine wisdom, not just knowledge. His ideas on governing by moral example, they offer a powerful critique of leaders who prioritize personal power or gain over the public good, and the Golden Rule, do not impose on others what you do not wish for yourself. It's such a timeless antidote to the echo chambers and the polarization we see everywhere now.
Online especially.
Absolutely. It calls us to try and step into another person's shoes, to really consider the impact of our words and actions, whether it's online or face-to-face. These lessons on compassion, respect, self-discipline, they are just as relevant in modern life, in our workplaces, and our personal relationships as they were 2,500 years ago.
So it's not just history.
Not at all. These ancient principles offer a surprisingly robust blueprint for navigating today's complexities if we just take the time to really understand them and try to apply them.
This deep dive has really shown, I think, that the Analects isn't just some book gathering dust on a scholar's shelf. It's a dynamic, living guide for how to live with dignity, with respect, with profound humanity in every part of our lives.
Well said.
Confucius might have lived centuries ago, but his voice, it still speaks to us today. Not like a relic, but almost like a wise mentor calling you to be better people, more effective leaders, and to build genuinely better, more harmonious communities.
And maybe just a final thought to leave with everyone. If knowledge, as Confucius suggested, is most valuable when it's actually understood and applied, what's one small concept from the Analects we talked about today? Maybe it's Ren, that call for active goodwill, or perhaps Li, the emphasis on respectful daily conduct. Just one small thing that you could choose to reflect on and intentionally practice in your own daily life this coming week, even in just a small way. How might that subtle shift, just in your own actions, start to ripple outwards?